Hello and welcome to Project Management 101. Successful projects don't just happen. They're not just a long list of things to be done. It's a masterpiece of planning, management and communication. It's a carefully choreographed sequence of events where progress is smooth and steady. One step leads seamlessly to the next, and every possible hitch has been considered and counted. Projects need the right people with the right skills, the right knowledge and the right attitude. Everyone is looking for a way to stay ahead of the pack in today's competitive and chaotic global economy. Companies are turning to project management to consistently deliver business results. More companies are clearly seeing the payoff from investing time, money, and resources to build organizational project management expertise, lower costs, greater efficiencies, improved customer and stakeholder satisfaction, and greater competitive advantage. So what is a project? Well, the Project Management Institute defines a project as a temporary endeavour undertaken to create a unique product, service or result. A project has certain characteristics that make it different to business as usual or operational work. These can be summarised as the following. A project is a temporary endeavour, which is to say that a project must have a defined start and a defined end. A project must create a unique product, an application for example, a unique service, such as an employee benefits program, or a unique result, like an improvement in customer satisfaction. There must be a reason for starting and a purpose for the project, like innovation or a compliance requirement. The activities of a project are interrelated and connected. In the early stages of a project, we don't always have all the information we need. Progressive elaboration involves continuously improving and detailing a plan as more detailed and specific information and more accurate estimates become available. This allows a project management team to define work and manage it to a greater level of detail as the project evolves. A project should come to a defined end when the project's objectives have been met or the project has failed to meet its objectives. So what is project management? How does it differ from management? And how does project management in the workplace differ from a personal project, such as refurbishing a house? Project management is essentially aimed at producing an end product that will affect some change for the benefit of the organisation that instigated the project. It is the initiation, planning and control of a range of tasks required to deliver this end product, which could be a physical product, it could be new software, or something less tangible, like a new way of working. A key factor that distinguishes project management from just management is that it has this final deliverable and a finite time span, unlike management, which is an ongoing process. Because of this, a project manager needs a wide range of skills, often technical skills, certainly people management skills, and good business awareness. To ensure a project's success, there are certain factors or areas that need to be considered. These areas are known as knowledge areas. There are 10 knowledge areas that need to be managed to achieve a successful project, and they are: integration. A project involves various elements, and these elements need to be properly coordinated. Project integration management are the processes required to ensure this. It involves making trade-offs among competing objectives and alternatives to meet or exceed stakeholder needs and expectations. Scope is primarily about defining and controlling what is and also what is not included in the project. Therefore, project scope management includes the processes required to ensure that this project includes all the work required and only the work required to complete the project successfully. Project schedule management includes the processes for developing, maintaining and communicating schedules for time and resources. Cost management includes the processes that ensure the project is completed within the approved budget. When it comes to projects, quality management refers to the processes required to ensure the project will satisfy the needs for which it was undertaken. Projects generally include people, and people need to be effectively managed for success. Therefore, project resource management refers to these processes needed to make the most efficient use and effective use of the people involved within the project. Communication This includes the processes required to ensure timely and appropriate generation, collection, and broadcasting of information regarding the project. It also refers to the storage and ultimate disposal of information. It provides the critical links among people, ideas, and information that are necessary for project success. Risk is a process of identifying, analysing, and responding to a project risk, avoiding or minimising the adverse effects of unforeseen events by taking another course of action, or drawing up contingency plans for dealing with them. This also includes enhancing risk that may lead to opportunities or to identify the opportunities to exploit them. Procurement, well, these processes are required to acquire goods and services. It also includes attaining project scope from outside the performing organisation. Stakeholder management is the systematic identification, analysis, planning, and implementation of actions designed to engage with stakeholders. Stakeholders are individuals or groups with an interest in the project, program, or portfolio because they're involved in the work or they're affected by the outcomes. Projects can be large or small, involve a great many resources or only a few, and take a lot of time or only a little. But despite these variances, they all share 4 distinct stages: initiating, planning, project implementation, closing and evaluating the project. Initiating is where the project is initiated and defined. This is the phase where you determine the nature of your project as well as its scope. This is high-level planning. Planning is where the project is planned in detail. The main purpose is to plan time, cost and resources adequately, to estimate the work needed and to effectively manage risk during the execution of the project. After you have carefully planned your project, you'll be ready to start the project implementation phase. This is the 3rd phase of the project management lifecycle and includes executing and monitoring and controlling. As the project unfolds, it's the project manager's job to direct and manage each activity every step of the way. That's what happens in execution. You follow the plan you've put together and you handle any problems that come up. So executing is the work time, and it involves putting the project plan into action. The execution phase is where you and your project team actually do the project work to produce the deliverables. Monitoring and controlling. This is where we observe the project execution so that potential problems can be identified in a timely manner and corrective action can be taken. Work done is controlled against the planned activities and monitored for deviation. Closing and evaluating the project. Well, this is the end of the project. The purpose of the project closure is to assess the project, ensure completion, and derive any lessons learned and best practices to be applied for future projects. Most importantly, we need to get the customer's acceptance of the final deliverables of the project. This signifies that the customer agrees the project scope and its deliverables are completed and delivered as agreed by all parties. Now all resources can be released from the project. Another very important part of getting a project started is to identify the stakeholders. The success of your project depends to a large extent on whether they understand and agree with what you are trying to accomplish. Stakeholders are people who have a vested interest in the success of a project. They may include managers and executives, colleagues within or outside of your department, and/or your customers. The specific stakeholders depend on the project and the situation. The Project Management Institute gives the following definition. A stakeholder is an individual, group, or organisation who may affect, be affected by, or perceive itself to be affected by a decision, activity, or outcome of a project. Your project will only be successful if your stakeholders are happy. If stakeholders are not satisfied, then your project will not be completed successfully due to lack of support and ambiguity regarding stakeholder expectations. Therefore, you must identify stakeholders at the beginning of the project and manage them throughout the project's lifecycle. The major planning tools which are used in effective project management are the work breakdown structure, the network diagram, and the Gantt chart. The work breakdown structure, or WBS, is a chart that shows the main work tasks of a project. The main objective or project is at the top of the chart, and then this is broken down into major deliverables. Those major deliverables are broken down into further levels of detail. A work breakdown structure is not time-related. It shows the activities which are required to complete the project's objectives. A work breakdown structure can help a project manager predict outcomes of a project based on various scenarios. This can ensure that the best decisions are made, or if changes are required. The benefits of a work breakdown structure include: well, it helps to clarify the work to be done, what's in and therefore out of scope. If it's not on the page, it's not on the stage. Helps to show who is going to do what. Helps to build the team. Provides a framework. It clarifies responsibility. It focuses attention on and clarifies objectives. And it helps to show changes. Once you feel confident that you will have the essential resources to complete the project, you and your team are ready to schedule the work. Generally speaking, a schedule helps us to logically arrange what we have to do so that we can make the best use of our time and resources. More specifically, it is a plan for carrying out a process or procedure, giving lists of intended events and times. Schedules are important for individuals, even more important for teams who work on a variety of interrelated tasks over a period of time. No matter what the size and scope of a project, the project schedule should always include the sequence of tasks and activities, when each task or activity will start and be completed, which team member will be responsible for each task or activity, and project deadlines and milestones. Once your scheduling is done, put it in a visual form that lets everyone involved see what needs to be done, the timeframes, and the relationships between the various aspects of the work. There are lots of scheduling tools that can help you do that. Try a few of them until you find one that works well for your project. A Gantt or bar chart is a commonly used tool. The importance of a Gantt chart cannot be understated. To complete a project successfully, you must control a large number of activities and ensure that they are completed on schedule. If you miss a deadline or finish a task out of sequence, there could be knock-on effects on the rest of the project. It could deliver late as a result and cost a lot more. That's why it's helpful to be able to see everything that needs to be done and know at a glance when each activity needs to be completed. Gantt charts convey this information visually. They outline all of the tasks involved in a project and their order shown against a timescale. This gives you an instant overview of the project and its associated tasks and when these need to be finished. A single delay or problem can throw the entire project off track. That's why it's crucial to monitor projects closely so you and the team can spot and address problems as soon as they arise. The way the project manager and the team handle the issues that are undoubtedly going to come up can make the difference between a successful project and one that fails to meet its goals. Here are some guidelines. Address issues and problems promptly. The most problems can be resolved quickly if they are caught at the early stages. To keep problems from escalating, address them right away. Determine the extent to which the problem is likely to impact the project plan and the schedule, and calculate whether the problem can be solved with available resources and within the allotted time frame. If necessary, revise the project plan and schedule. If a problem is serious enough to throw the project off track, call the team together. Review the project plan and schedule to determine what, if any, changes you may need to make and decide how best to proceed. Respond quickly to change. As soon as you become aware of a change that might affect your project, work with the team to respond quickly. Review your project goals and your scope, explore the possible impacts, and decide what actions to take. If the project or any part of it no longer seems relevant, it is better to abandon it so everyone can move on to other priorities. No matter what a project size and scope, these best practices can increase the likelihood that it will go smoothly and achieve the desired outcome. Begin a project by clearly defining the desired outcome and why it's important. Take the time to explore options for achieving the outcome, decide which will be best, and develop SMART goals that describe how to achieve it. Identify stakeholders, assemble the right team, and set up a system for communicating information throughout the project. Develop a detailed project plan that includes essential resources, a realistic schedule, roles and responsibilities, milestones, and contingency plans. Hold a launch meeting to ensure that key stakeholders and participants have the same understanding of the project and to encourage commitment to the project. Monitor the project carefully to ensure it stays on track and to address problems, issues and changes right away. Let everyone know when the project has been completed and thank people for their participation. And learn from the experience. Evaluate what went well and what could have been done differently.